Hi, everybody. Dan Federicis, Saratoga Report. I am here with someone very special, Saratoga Springs Mayor John Safford. First term Mayor John Safford, and an old friend from we both hail from Buffalo, New York. Had a good Bills game this week. Don't know how that happened, but it worked out. Mr. Mayor, how are you doing this beautiful week? I mean, every week is beautiful in Saratoga, but boy, this week, the end of summer here is really looking beautiful. How are you doing this week?
Well, I mean, you're right. The weather is great this time of year, and it lifts everybody's spirits. I think, especially we had our 9/11 ceremony yesterday, and I think the sunshine helps a lot. Uh, it was also a really beautiful day like this, if you recall back then too. But we had a really moving ceremony yesterday, celebrating the many people who lost their lives that day. But I don't know if that's the way we want to start this, but it was a very moving ceremony that we had yesterday.
It's appropriate because here we are a day later and you're talking about it. We will not forget that day and the heroes that gave their lives that day. And you long before 9/11, but you are a military veteran, and I thank you for your service, Mr. Mayor.
Well, thank you. Yeah, like most veterans, I think I didn't even want to think about as I got more involved in public, um, in the in office and that I've had to talk about it a lot more, and I definitely appreciate every veteran that's ever you know, signed their life away to support the country. So
Absolutely. Well, thank you. Well, here we are. It is early September. In less than 2 months, the city's going to have an election for a lot of offices, including mayor. You've served admirably, very well, considering the potholes the landmines that an office holder, especially the mayor in this city, must face, more so than 20 years ago, more so than 5 years ago. And you, in my book, have had a really successful term. Has it been perfect? No. But I think because you're just such a decent man, even your detractors that want to criticize you for certain things acknowledge that you are decent and kind, and so you ran on civility and you delivered that promise. How is it overall, and how are you looking towards the election?
well, again, I promise civility. I can't say enough though. If you recall, Commissioner Cole came in at the same time
Yes.
because I promised civility, but also safety. And I think that the combination of us working together have made a huge difference for the city in terms of bringing a more of a calmness. On my little card that I'm handing out, it says a steady hand. And that's what I've tried to provide over these last year and a half. Um, as I think you mentioned my army days. I was an infantry officer, and I think I learned there how to be calm under fire. And so I've tried to apply a lot of that learning and that experience to this experience because it's very difficult at some of these meetings to stay calm and to try and keep everybody calm. But I think I have been successful doing that. And that translates directly into City Hall. If the meetings are calm and the commissioners are functioning civilly, that translates directly into City Hall. And I think City Hall has been a lot better since Cole and myself, were elected. So I'm very happy about that. And I want to continue to do that.
I absolutely believe that. I agree with that. There have been bumps. Of course, there are bumps. It's Saratoga Springs, but under your leadership, the city work is getting done, and it's getting done well.
That's true. A lot, a lot of when you're being civil and quiet, but yeah, getting done at City Hall. And I'm very happy about the things that we're doing to improve. Um, the departments that we're responsible for, and just making things better, inside that beautiful building.
It is a beautiful building, and there's some great work done, under the leadership of the late Skip Scirocco after the fire and so forth. And I'm proud of that city hall, actually. And so it's campaign season. I assume you're getting out there. You're going. I know you're making a lot of events. I mean, you've been that way as mayor anyway, as your duties. But are you getting door to door, mayor? Are you finding time to get knock
I
on
haven't been
doors?
out door to door yet. I've been attending a lot of events. I mean, I'm busy pretty much every weekend and most nights of the week. Just talking. There's a lot of folks want me to come and meet with them at their various events that they're having. So I've been spending a lot of time. I mean, one of the recent ones that I was so happy to do, because I didn't know that much about the Principessa Elena Society. I didn't know that
Yep.
they're 15 years older than the city, number one. And I've been an elk for many years, and I always comment how our city is founded on people like who join the Elks and just do good for good's sake. Well, I found a whole new society that does that, and Principessa Elena Society is like that. And I was just so pleased to be able to speak at their 125th anniversary the other day, and to meet some of the leaders there and some of the people who attend. I think they were saying they have like 800 members. It's wonderful. It's just a great place. So I was very happy to do that.
I was once a member there, and once my first daughter was born, we just never got over there, so I let it lapse. I regret that. I might have to now that we do get out a little bit more and so forth. I may have to circle around and see if they will take me back. So when you're talking to people, when you look back on this term, and the accomplishments you've made, are there areas that you highlight when you talk to people? Are there areas that just naturally come forth that you're proud of certain things and so forth?
Well, I think I don't know if you're aware. I owned a computer company for many years, and one of the software packages that we developed was for a building department. So I'm very familiar with what it takes to automate a building department. Frankly, many years ago, when I first came to town, I came into the city. At that time, I came into City Hall to talk about that. And I didn't understand it at the time, but the data processing guy at the time kind of laughed at me. And what he was referring to, which I didn't know, was a commission form of government, and how difficult it is to apply any kind of automation that is universally used throughout the city. And that's been something that's plagued us for many years. I do have to give some credit to the accounts department right now, because we've been trying to work very hard with them, especially around short-term rental data. The databases that have to be created for that are the same kinds of databases that need to be used, in the building department. So we've been working and we've also been scanning a lot of records. You would have thought that we would have moved out of the paper business many years ago, but we really haven't. So much of the building department data is stored in paper files, and that definitely cuts things down. But most, I've been in the computer business for a long time. You just don't turn around something overnight. But what we did is we immediately started to do a search for software that could be applied. Now, that took about 6 months. And now for the last 6-8 months, we've been working on integrating that. But you have to remember that with a paper system, we have had to digitize and scan and do all kinds of things to bring that about. So it's in the process now, and I am hoping that it will probably through the winter time, when things slow down, we should be able to get caught up so that next year you should see a big improvement in our throughput for the building department. I know it's been frustrating for a lot of people, but we're working on that, and that's something I'm going to be very proud of.
That is great to know. It's not, it falls under the category of work that's not necessarily sexy or exciting, but it's important, Mayor. It's something you got to do, and maybe not too many people get excited about it. But if you can more automate and speed up that department with all the construction going on in the city, that will be huge, right?
Well, I mean, it's definitely something that we're working on. The other thing that, again, is not very glamorous, but we're in the process of negotiating the new contracts for all the various unions. We have 7 unions, and the way that I've always approached things like that in a professional manner. So we've been trying to work through professional negotiators, and of course, I'm involved in everything. We've now been successful at securing 3-year contracts, maybe 4 it could be, depending on how we renew these, with the DPW and with the city workers. So, and also with the lieutenants. So we are now faced with and are entering into the negotiations with the fire department and the police department. And that's going to be critical through next year, that be done in the best interest of both the city and the workers. As you know, the people who get the work done are very, very important to the city. And how to balance that with the taxpayers is a real issue. And of course, you were in police work all your life, I think, pretty much. And
Yes.
actually, you were a union rep, right?
President, yes.
Yes.
So
So you know all about this.
but I love your approach, Mayor. I love how in your gut, where you have to be. Folks, we can't give away the store here. We have to protect the city, protect the taxpayers. At the same time, we have great employees. We have great, courageous, brave, doing dangerous work. And not just the police and fire. We have great employees across all bargaining units, and you want to strike a balance, right? You want to compensate them appropriately, give them as good a benefits as we give, but you can't bankrupt the city while you do it. You're finding that balance, Mayor. Good for you.
Yeah, I mean, I often say that it's a thread in the needle or finding the balance. I think that's true throughout pretty much everything that happens at City Hall. And that's true too with working with the other commissioners. You cannot run on an agenda that is antithetical to just common sense applications that have to be brought before the council and approved by 5 people. I'm not really totally against the commission form of government. As you know, I have a commission now I have a council that's looking at this right now. I gave them this year to come up with ways that the current form might work better. And they're working on that, but they're learning an awful lot. So that in December, and I expect to see some results from that pretty soon that we'll start to implement. But in December, they'll make a decision as to whether they want to continue on next year and actually look at a change in the form. So I'm kind of anticipating what they might come up with and what kind of a decision they might make in December. They're a very, very experienced group of people, and I so appreciate them taking the time to do this. But it might be time to look again. Again, it depends on what they come up with, but I'm very happy to take a look at that.
Good for you, Mr. Mayor. First of all, for that committee to begin with, you had everyone I saw that I recognized on the committee were stellar choices. And I suspect the ones that maybe I didn't recognize brought a lot to the table as well, and were stellar in their own ways. So I commend you for that. Yes, and a lot of experience there, some diversity there as far as where the experience came from and so forth. So that is terrific, and it's important. And I like how you're open-minded here. You're not saying I absolutely want to go in this direction or I absolutely won't go in this direction. You're saying let the process play out, and we'll find out where we're going to go when the time is right. I
Well,
appreciate.
early on, I mean, I've obviously I've been engaged in this political scene for over 12 years now, 13 years, and I knew what I was walking into a commission form of government. So from day one, I've recognized that cooperation and trying to work with the other commissioners is very, very important. Now, that hasn't always worked out very well, and I don't think that's my fault. But I continue to appreciate the equality of five equally powerful people trying to make the best decisions for the city, and I will continue to do that, and look forward to trying to. That's why I'm running again. I think that at least for another 2 years, to be able to complete some of the things that we've started, but also to give a good firm base to the idea of a steady hand, a steady hand. As I told you, that's on my little brochure that I'm handing out, a steady hand for Saratoga. That's what I think I offer.
That, that even keeled approach, Mayor, that decency that you bring. And you're exemplifying here. If someone came in for the first time and listened to this discussion between you and I, they would appreciate. I think most people would appreciate what you're saying, because you're not attacking opponents. You're not pointing fingers. You're trying to find common ground where you can. Not always possible in this city or really any other municipality. But wow, you're just very pragmatic about all of this. And again, I'm honored to call you my mayor.
Well, so I have a third little leg I have to talk about too. Safety, civility are those things that I think the citizens here want to see continued, but also economics. A lot of people are not really aware. I often like to talk about the north, south, east, and west of the city, but a lot of people are not as aware of our industrial park on the west side of the city. I've been very instrumental in doing everything I can. When Regeneron wanted to buy into the park, they had a lot of questions, and I hope that I was instrumental in being able to answer a lot of their questions. They will be a huge addition to our industrial base here. But the reason I'm saying that is that we have when you think about what a healthy city is, it has to be very diverse in terms of its economics. And of course, we're known and growing, as a tourist city. But as we learned in COVID, tourism can turn off as certain circumstances happen. So you want to continue with a very diverse economic background, and we have education here. We have SPAC. When I think of north, southeast, if you think north, we have Skidmore College, but we also have Empire University here, which is a big online school and grow very, very fast. Of course, have the racetrack, and one of the things I like to talk about the racetrack that Belmont caused for us was a working relationship with Fox Sports. And my understanding is that Fox Sports discovered a huge audience interested in just the realities, I guess, of real horse racing and the iconic venues that we have in Saratoga Springs. And sounds to me as though they're going to be permanently engaging with Saratoga Springs and with the racetrack even after Belmont leaves. So I'm very excited about that. That just continues to boil our place to be. Then of course the South, we have a 2,400 acre natural park in the city. And of course, we have Live Nations there. But if you think about those things, as well as dynamic downtown that we want to continue to allow to grow, or to do the things that we need to do to keep it growing, And then in this industrial, we have a company out of Canada that came down, Solano, that makes these incredibly, I mean, they make pipes, but the way they do it is very unique, and it makes pipes that will last 1,000 years rather than the galvanized pipes that move water now, that moved
Right.
in and is growing. And we just signed with a new company that's kind of a military contractor that's going to be out there. So there's so many good things happening in this city.
It's good
So
for you because
I wanted to get economics into it.
I, I don't want to put down any past mayors because I just might not know. But I guess that's my point. I didn't know the mayor's office um, had such a strong role in the economic development with new companies and so forth. And you're telling me you're involved, you're engaged, you're meeting with these companies. And again, maybe your predecessors did too, but that's never been touted or even mentioned that I can recall. So good for you, Mayor. That I think at least to some degree, you're kind of breaking ground, pioneering a little bit the mayor's role because with the five different heads, the mayor is sometimes seen as a weak mayor as far as the concept, but you're really making it your own and meeting with these companies from not even from the U.S., sometimes from Canada. So thank you for that.
Right. Well, I mean, and then the other thing is, housing is such an issue right now. We have expanded the affordable housing here, and of course, this was started with earlier, folks in office, but we've been able to maintain that relationship and also move the needle so that it's more open to actual workforce housing. Workforce housing is talked about, but actual workforce housing is expanding here. And we've been very instrumental in talking with the state about trying how to move that needle forward. And as of last time we looked at it, I think there's 2,850 affordable housing units either here or being built. And the management to handle them correctly is huge. We only have about 1,300 total housing units in Saratoga Springs. And to have 15% of that in this category is very unusual for a city our size. So in every possible way you can think of, Saratoga Springs is so unique in the diversity of our economic base, in the diversity of our various organizations. We have more people. I would say we have 30 or 40% of the individuals in this city who are engaged in some type of a not-for-profit or something that adds to the value of our social structure here in the city. I just can't say more about how great the city is and how proud I am to be the mayor.
And Mr. Mayor, it was so well said. I had a discussion like this with somebody that lives in my neighborhood. Again, Saratoga is not perfect. No place is. Saratoga has challenges. They all do. But I wouldn't choose any other place. I'm so happy here. I'm not going anywhere. I moved here. I moved from Buffalo to Albany and quickly discovered Saratoga and came here, raising my children, got married here, raising my children here. And again, I'm honored that you are mayor, and I believe people should certainly be reelecting you in less than 2 months. So
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us today, Mr. Mayor. And
Thank
we're
you.
going to right. This is sponsored. I should say, never said this. This is sponsored content, but it is written as well on there. So, Mr. Mayor, thank you. We're going to talk again soon, and we'll get more specific next time on certain areas. How's that?
Okay, like to.
Thank you.